Hey guys, this is Lalana. Thanks for tuning into the Sovereign Path. So today I'm going to do an impromptu video for you guys. Sitting outside, so if you hear my dogs running around chewing sticks, that's what that is. So this is going to be like a spin-off, part 2 sort of the video that I released last Wednesday. How the DM is showing up in your reality. So I really want to hit on this again and sort of clarify a few more points. It's really important for us to understand that this is energy, right? We're energetic beings. This is an energy system, right? We are energy. We are pure source energy, all of us, everything around us, everything you see, all of it. And it's really important that we start to get a handle on how that operates and what that means. And so when I make videos like the one I did last week that are talking about your divine masculine is going to show up in the way that you are believing that they are, thinking about them, having opinions of them, sort of categorizing, defining, or labeling them, right? They're going to show up in your reality in that way because you are creating them. This is one consciousness. And I know that's a mind bender. Like, I get it. The mind doesn't like that. The ego doesn't like that. You know, if you're at the beginning stages of this path and you're just like, this is absolute, like, shit show, crazyville, I get it. I understand that, and it sounds crazy, and I understand that. But the reason that I make these videos, right, and this channel is still really small, and I'm still shooting videos at y'all all the time, is because I've been on this path. I'm on this path, right? But I was on this path for a long time before I finally got it, right? Before it finally, like, clicked. And like a lot of you guys, I was just, like, going around in circles, and I was suffering on this path. And you know, there are so many things and there's so many reasons that I've been doing the work that I've been doing now since like 2019, because it just, like, I genuinely want to help you guys. Like, I know where you're at. I know how it feels. I know how it feels. And I know what it feels like to be searching for answers and looking in 1,000 different directions and thinking you've got it, and then falling off, you know, the whole situation again, or, you know, thinking that you're balanced, and then the next thing you know, you're spinning, and all of those sort of things. And so it's really important that I clarify a lot of the things that I say and a lot of the things that I share on here for that reason. Because I do want to try to make it as complicated as the spiritual awakening is. I am doing my best to try to demystify it, right? And so when I make videos like the one that I released last week, we really do need to understand that this is energy and that you are one consciousness with your divine masculine. They are you. It is you. There is no separation. It's you, right? You have created this, as crazy as it sounds. You have. And you as a soul, you as the higher self, you as divine timing, you as your team, just vibrating at a higher octave, has orchestrated you to go through an awakening process in this way with your same consciousness incarnate in order to assist you out of the 3D programming and the suffering and the woundings and all of those things that we all believe that we are and that we've all been identifying with, right? And as I say over and over again, like, it's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with the 3D. Like, I'm not villainizing the 3D. I'm not villainizing ego. But what I am saying is that if you're finding yourself on a true twin flame path, then you're going through a spiritual awakening. That's it. That's the name of the game. It's the reason that you're on this path, and that's what this path is. This path isn't about romantic situations. It isn't about coming into physical union, and it isn't about the relationship with the twin. It's about the relationship with yourself, right? And I'm going to continue to say it, and I know people hate it, and I know a lot of people say the opposite. But the opposite is going to keep you spinning. I can promise you that. If you're really focused on the divine masculine and what they're doing, and if you're really focused on the romantic aspect of this, and you're really thinking that that's the whole purpose of this, is to come into divine union with the romantic, with the divine masculine in the 3D physical, then you are missing the point, and you are going to keep going around in circles. I know. I've been there. I've been there. So the thing is that whatever you are holding within you, you're going to see it in your external reality, right? It's going to show up in your external reality. And so that means if you're, having all of these belief systems and you're labeling the divine masculine as, a narcissist or an avoidant or whatever else, then that means on some level, those things are coming up for you. On some level, you are attracting those traits or those aspects or those personalities or those qualities in your masculine to show you that on some level there's something going on within you that is keeping that running, right? This is a reflection. This is a mirror, right? So when we really start looking at this from the energetic aspect of what's going on, and we understand that we are running duality, right? We're running separation programs, right? We're believing in the distortion and the fear and the lack and all of these things that we have subscribed to experience as souls. But once the awakening started and you got activated by your divine masculine, now you have been activated to come out of those programs, right? And to stop telling those stories and to stop believing in those things, right? So that you stop creating them in your reality. So this is all about, coming back into union with yourself, as I keep saying. But it's about collapsing that duality between you and you, right? So when we're having these beliefs and we're subscribing to them, then we're running that separation program within us, right? This is the thing. And the divine masculine, all they're doing is reflecting back to you that separation that you have within you. That's why we see them as separate. And that's why we think from the egoic perspective that if we have them back in our life physically in a romantic way, then, that's going to fix everything. And that's going to show that we are in union and that we've, figured it out and whatever else. And that's why I keep saying you can be in physical, romantic relationship with your twin, in and out, and on and off, and hot and cold, and whatever else. But that doesn't mean that you're in union with self, right? Because until you're in union with self, it will still be breadcrumbing, ghosting, on and off, they're here, they're not here, whatever, because that's still what you are subscribing to. That's still what you're believing in, right? That's still what's going on within you, is all of those separation programs. And so coming into true union with self is collapsing that separation, right? It's moving out of duality and moving into non-duality, right? It's moving into the 0 point. It's moving into stillness. It's moving into that place within you that is just oneness. Sorry, I think my shadow is going straight across my face. Sorry guys, the sun just moved. So when we're really looking at this, we need to really be paying attention to what the reflection is showing us, right? And this is the purpose of the video that I made the other day. What's the reflection showing you? And this is what I mean when I say whatever beliefs that you're subscribing to, you are basically holding your divine masculine in that pattern, right? You're holding them in that program because you're believing it. And so since you're creating it, you're not allowing them to step out, right? You're not allowing them to step into their divinity because you haven't stepped into yours, right? And that might sound harsh, right? Like, I get it. That might sound harsh. Like, I understand. But that's actually the truth of what's happening energetically. So until you are in your sovereignty, which means there is no more judgment, There is no more defining. There is no more labeling. There is no more, you know, he or she is doing this, that, and the other, and blah, 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 and they need to awaken, and they need to ascend, and they need to heal, and they need to do all of these things and get their shit together, right? Or they're a narcissist, or they're an avoidant, or, you know, this happened and that happened, and so therefore they are this way. All of those narratives are coming from separation, which means all of those narratives are coming from the wounded aspects of you. These wounded aspects of you are going to keep you away from your sovereignty. They're going to keep you in duality, in lack, in fear, right? In a distorted energy, right? And that's what's going to show up in your reality, right? From your divine masculine. That's what they're going to show you. They're going to show you, well, yeah, okay, well, if you think that this is what I am, then okay, this is what I am. You're creating this, and so, okay, right? So the thing is that when you step into your sovereignty, and when you neutralize these energies, and when you come into balance within, then you have shifted out of the third dimensional frequency of separation, right? Now you have shifted into unity consciousness within and without. Unity consciousness, union within, right? Self-love, inner union, all those things that you guys hear me talking about. This is about coming into unconditional love. You are a soul. You are a pure source consciousness. Pure source consciousness is not thinking that anybody is a narcissist, right? They're not labeling. It's not labeling, right? It's not labeling. It's not doing the, you know, avoidant attachment style theory. It's not doing like, you know, you need to do this, 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 and this, and this. It's not saying like, you know, I need to be validated by my masculine, or, you know, I need to do all of these things to be able to, you know, attract my masculine in the 3D and all of those sort of things, right? You are unconditional love, right? You are all of these things that I keep talking about. You're not separate from yourself. You're not separate from consciousness. You're not separate from soul. You're not separate from your higher self. There's nothing out there deeming you, you know, granting you union. You have that power. You are that powerful. You are sovereign. You are truly a sovereign being. And from that place, you are the embodiment of unconditional love, right? This doesn't mean you're a doormat, right? Doesn't mean you're being walked all over. It means that you are in your highest timeline within this physical reality. It means you are embodying your highest timeline within this physical reality. It means you know your worth, and not as a bad bitch, right? Your real worth, the truth of who you are as consciousness, not the truth of who your ego thinks it is, but the truth of what your soul is, right? So understanding how this energy works, understanding that your twin flame is you, and that it is one energy, and that it is one consciousness, and that you are creating what you see, and that if you want to change the picture of what you see in your external reality, then you need to change the picture of what you are holding in your inner reality, right? What you're believing in that inner reality. This is what collapsing the duality does, right? It's just, the thing is that we're out of balance, right? We are subscribing to the mind constructs and the ego constructs and the emotionality and all of these things, and we're thinking that that's us, right? It's not you. It's an experience that you've come here to have. And the awakening process is pulling you out of that experience. It's time to have a new experience. And so really coming into that awareness that this is my same consciousness that I'm dealing with, right? This is me that I'm dealing with. And so I need to be putting me on the pedestal. I need to be seeing me as a queen, right? And again, not an egoic, you know, bad bitch way, in a true sovereign way, coming back to yourself, right? Your true self. Coming back to soul, coming back to source, coming back to consciousness, coming back to the light being and the light body and the pure sovereignty that you are. That's what this path is about. That's what it's asking you to do, right? That's the gift of this path, is the freedom of it. It's coming into the remembrance that you are a creator being, and that you're creating whatever you want. You're creating all that you see. But you have to pay attention to what's going on within you. You have to pay attention to what that inner talk is saying, to what that dialogue is saying, to what you're subscribing to, what you're listening to in regard to the twin flame path. And really being honest with yourself, like this is my spiritual awakening, right? This is my spiritual awakening. And if I have any shot in the dark to have some sort of physical union that is harmonious with my divine masculine, then I better damn well have some harmonious union within myself. Because whatever's going on within me is what's going on, showing up with them. There is no them. There is no them. I know that's crazy for the people that are beginning on this path, and it's just like, you know, like I say, your mind pushes back around it. It sounds absolutely insane, and I get that. But we have been experiencing duality. We have been indoctrinated into a system to have these experiences that are based in duality and separation. But that's not who we are as a soul. It's not who we are as consciousness. And that's what the awakening does. We need to release those beliefs that are saying, like, this relationship is supposed to show up the way that all my other relationships have shown up in the past. We need to release that narrative, right? We also need to release the narrative that's saying, like, this is the best romantic partner ever, right? It could be, but if you're still running that narrative, then you're still thinking that that's the purpose of this, right? And that's why people, especially the divine feminine, not gender specific, gets, you know, embroiled in so much pain, because we're wanting this thing to show up in a way that is being, like, put out there, that it needs to show up romantically, you know, and that physical union is the end all be all on this path. It's not. I'm in physical union. It's not the end all be all on this path. If you're not in union with self, it doesn't matter what the hell's going on, right? If you're not in inner union with self, everything around you is still going to show up in a chaotic way, no matter if it's physical, no matter if it's not, no matter if it's separation, whatever it is. And it's just going to keep you going, spinning around in circles. Because the truth of the matter is that if you are a true twin flame path, if you are a true twin flame, and you are then on a true twin flame path, you can't walk away from this. You can't walk away from it. You're going to have to learn how to navigate it, right? I mean, this is why there are people that have been on this path for lifetimes, right? It's like I've said in other videos, this is not your first rodeo. It's not the first time that you've just come in, right? It's not your first incarnation. You've been preparing for this for a lot of lifetimes. Like, the show's on. Like, this is it, right? It's only your ego and the ego programmings and those fear-based mechanisms that are telling you otherwise, right? This is consciousness. This is energy. This is source. Like, you know, this is the truth of who you are. And that's what we really need to understand on this path. And we need to let go of, like, any sort of label and whatever it is. And I mean, honestly, there's so many words that I wish I could drop, because I don't think that they're helpful. It's just we only have so many words to communicate with, right? Because it's really not a path, and it's really not a journey. It's just you. It's just you. It's just who you are. You are consciousness, and you're waking up out of duality. And that's it. That's it. And your same self incarnate is helping you to do that. That's what this is, right? Your same self incarnate is helping you to shift out of all the programs and the duality that have you suffering, and running all of those programs that are having them show up in distorted ways, right? The only reason they're showing up in these distorted ways is because those are things that you need to break within you. It's why I made that video, the triggers are the gold mine. They are. The triggers are the gold mine. We tend to want to run from that stuff because the ego doesn't want to deal with it. The pain body sure as hell doesn't want to deal with it. And so it would rather just be comfortable in what it knows. And sometimes what it knows is suffering, right? Sometimes what it knows is just pain and whatever, and that's what we've subscribed to experience, and we have a hard time shifting out of that. But, you know, do you really want to stay there? I keep saying this over and over again. You know, this is like, there are no words to describe what this path is once you actually come into union with self, right? Once you actually master what's going on here and you come back into your consciousness, this thing will set you free. This is the biggest gift. This is the biggest gift that we could have been given in this reality. So that's it. Quick video. That's all I have for you guys. I hope that that resonates and that you guys have an awesome day.